Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we are going to discuss the brand new 2021 Netflix original film, Blood Red Sky. This film is in German, English, and Arabic. So the title scenes are like all in German, and I'm like, oh, I didn't get in the mindset to watch a foreign film today. But then it keeps bouncing between different languages, and it gives appropriate backstory. It's a vampire movie, so it gives appropriate backstory at appropriate times. It doesn't do stupid interval of 1 minute past, 2 minute present, 1 minute past, 2 minute present. It doesn't do that. So it gives very appropriate backstory, which I liked. So it's about this mother and her son Elias. They're trying to get to New York because there's a doctor in New York can help apparently cure her vampirism, and the only reason she got vampirism was because her and her husband's car broke down many years ago when Elias was a baby, and they were trying to find the husband was trying to find help. He gets attacked by a vampire. She finds his body drained of blood. She gets bitten by the vampire, and then she winds up killing that guy. But then she is trapped in the vampire void. So she then goes back to the site to then try to get some information, and she meets that vampire's father, who tells her that we're all just pure evil. You have to stop the spread. So she winds up killing him. She takes his suppressant medication that's in the fridge, which was interesting. We get very Nosferatu kind of vampires, so like elongated ears, all the teeth are fangy, not so much just the two canine teeth. It's like all the teeth are fangy. The lust for blood, the eye change, the allergy and death of sun or UV rays. So then in the process of all of this, the film takes place on an airplane. You could have called it Vampires on an Airplane, and it would have been great. Just much like so how there were snakes on a plane, and it was great. So if you put vampires on a plane, I would have preferred the title Vampires on a Plane rather than Blood Red Sky. I get it, they wanted to differentiate, but snakes on a plane worked, and vampires on a plane, in this case Blood Red Sky, worked. It had a logical story. The plane was being hijacked by these guys. They had targeted certain passengers. That way they actually had Muslim passengers on, so that way they could pretend that they were the terrorists speaking in Arabic. All these things, very maniacally planned out. But in the process of all of this, one of them is a complete psycho. He takes one of the syringes from Elias's mom that she's trying to suppress her vampirism, takes blood out of her after it's revealed that she is a vampire, and then injects himself, becoming a vampire, and then he turns people vampires, and then they turn people vampires. It's a cycle. So there's detonations, there's gunshots, there's an axe with Farad, this one guy, his hand gets chopped off, and it's just Farad and Elias at the end. The plane is blown up by Elias at the end when they, not crash land, but like emergency land in Scotland. So the film starts out in Scotland with the emergency landing, and then we get why they emergency landed instead of going from Germany to New York. So it was really cool film. It's gotten mediocre reviews, and I can understand the second half of the film is much slower than the first half of the film, but like, those fight scenes were awesome. The plot points of the terrorists framing people to then get money and all this stuff, it made sense. But I would have loved for it to be called Vampires on a Plane. It's just my own personal preference. If it was called Vampires on a Plane, I think it would have just elevated into that cult status, because Snakes on a Plane is my gen. Snakes on a Plane was awesome and had an accurate plot point, and yeah. This film reminded me a lot of that. So horror films on planes, they work. As long as the plot makes sense, they work. Blood Red Sky, 2021 Netflix. Awesome horror film. Go check it out. Mucho mahalo.